All right, let's talk about the Detroit Lions. This is a team, obviously the best team in football. I think we can see that pretty definitively. The way they performed this entire season. Jared Goff having an MVP caliber year, Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year, two great coordinators, but lost in the shuffle of Detroit's dominance is an absolutely incredible job the Lions have done, not getting the attention it deserves in one key area. But I think this is going to be a key part of the Lions' potential Super Bowl run. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Lions have been the most dominant team in football this season. Their offense is clicking. Their defense has actually performed much higher than a lot of people give them credit for. That has gone under the radar a little bit, especially considering the just incredible number of injuries the Lions have suffered, especially the second half of the season. Let's go ahead and pull up a graphic first to highlight some of them. This is from ESPN. Get up, put this graphic together if you want to throw it up on the screen there. You can see the list of injuries from Anzalone to Barnes, Kaminsky, Davenport, Hutchinson. Keep going down the list. Of course, Aleem McNeil, who got an injury against the Green Bay Packers. He's not even mentioned on this list. There's a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the football that the Lions have had to deal with. And of course, any team battling through injuries can be really hard, especially when one group is hit severely. We've seen teams from the Dallas Cowboys to the New Orleans Saints to the Cleveland Browns deal with a treasure trove of injuries and play poorly. But here's the interesting part. The Lions are dealing with a severe amount of injuries and they're doing phenomenally well. Let's go ahead and pull up these PFF graphics. We got a chart for you guys. So the Green Bay Packers, obviously the Lions opponent last Thursday night, has the second best running grade in the entire NFL, according to folks at Pro Football Focus. You can see it on the screen there. The running grade is second only to the Baltimore Ravens at 91.5. That is absolutely outstanding. They're a very good running football team. Their head coach, Matt LaFleur, great offensive strategy, good offensive line. But here's one thing you'll notice. If you look at the Lions' performance against the Green Bay Packers, this other graphic here, you can see it there, is the Green Bay Packers offensive grade against the Lions 72.0. That's almost 20 points, I believe 19 and a half points fewer than their average, according to the folks at Pro Football Focus. So, what does that mean? It means the Lions decimated with injuries at the front seven, playing a team that knows the Lions scheme. Obviously, the Packers play the Lions a lot. And the Detroit Lions defense, led by Aaron Glenn, still did an incredible job holding the Green Bay Packers running grade 20 points below their season average. That is how you can win championships. I know a lot of people are focused on Dan Campbell's fourth down decision making. I know a lot of people are focused on how great Jared Goff has been, how incredible the Lions offensive line has been, how great Gibbs Montgomery on. All those things are fantastic stories and deserve to be talked about. But one thing that's missed is the just fantastic job the Lions coaches, scouting department, and players have done this season, finding a way to do great things on defense, dealing with severe injuries. Incredible job across the board by them. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. But first, Lions fans in the comment section below. Obviously, at this point in the season, you are just cruising it. You look like the best team in football. But give us one thing you think the Lions need to clean up for their playoff run. Is it little things? Is it offsides, penalties? Is it, avoiding drop passes? Anything like that that you guys think the Lions need to clean up as they prepare for the stretch run? Put that in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news involving the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, Nick, I think the Lions, like you said, they do a really good job of just dealing with what is dealt to them. I think from the beginning of the season, Aiden Hutchinson goes down with the leg injury.
Yeah.
It's just they kept rolling, and I hate to say this because Aiden Hutchinson is an absolute game changer. He is a dominant player, but in my opinion, when you watch the Lions, you almost don't even realize that he is gone. This team has been doing really, really good stuff. They've put together really great defensive performances without him. So obviously the addition of a guy like Zadarius Smith, him coming in, having a pretty good season so far, that's going to be a big part of it. But for this team to come in and just do so well with so many injuries, I think if I look back at the chart really fast, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Over a whole roster, plus a little bit more of a defensive side of the ball, over more than 11 guys on the there. This is very, very impressive for the Lions. And this is what we say about good teams, especially in college football. You look at college football, you talk about the Georgias of the world. What's the difference between Georgia and, say, a smaller school like a Wofford is they probably have similar high level talent. Like the best player on Wofford, the best player on Georgia could be similar, but the difference is Georgia has so much depth behind them. Georgia's second best player is probably better than our second level player is probably better than Wofford's second best player. I think this is just really, really deep rosters. Wofford might be a stretch here, but the point is when you talk about similar teams that are lower ranked, let's maybe go Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's best player might be the same as Georgia's best player. But when you look at the Lions, this is a team where they have so many good players on their starting offense and defense, but they also have so many great depth guys. This is a really solidly built team overall. I just think this is how a football team should have been built. We saw it from the beginning. Dan Campbell came in with this plan. They're going to build a team, change the culture, and the culture starts from the top and it works its way all the way through the ranks. And I think this is the perfect season to show how deep the culture has gone. You see all these guys step up, that real true next man up mentality. I think this is a great season for the Lions because if you had an easy ride and everyone was healthy, people were like, well, the Lions just got healthy. They did really good. No, this is a Lions team that is decimated by injuries, still dominating, showing how great of a team they actually are.
Yeah, shout out to the Wofford Terriers getting a call out here. People in the state of Michigan, if you don't know what Wofford is, it's a small school in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So there you go. That's an interesting shout out. But look, I think you're 100% correct about the depth part. That's critically important. But it's also critically important to understand the Lions prepared for this. If you look at how they set up their organization, one of the things that's very interesting is that the Lions, according to Gridiron Grading, an account on Twitter, I think is an interesting follow. He says the Lions have 27 people working in their scouting or personnel department per the Lions website. Other teams, you look at teams like the Cincinnati Bengals, this account highlights only have 5 or 6. So think about it for a second. You have 27 guys trying to find depth pieces, trying to fill out the roster, make draft selections, find free agents, injured reserve decisions, things like that. 27 guys for the Lions, 5 or 6 for the Bengals. That's the difference. Teams like the Bengals have some injuries, like the Cowboys, like the Dolphins, like the Saints, whatever. Every team deals with injuries at some point or another. If they haven't prepared for it, if they don't have the staff to prepare for it, if they didn't hire people to prepare for it, they struggle. The Lions saw this potential problem coming and give credit to the ownership group for investing in these 27 people. But more importantly, give credit to the front office and these 27 guys for going out and executing it. I think it's an incredible job across the board, and it's one of the under the radar reasons why the Lions are the team to beat in the NFL.